Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to already the seventh series in the recruitment webinar series, The Art of Recruitment. And today, maybe one of our most unusual speakers on our series, Nadja, the head of sales of Lemlist. But I particularly asked and begged Nadja, because I know she's very, very busy, if she could speak at our webinar series, because Nadja and actually Lemlist is one of my biggest inspirations. For the people that don't know me, I'm Adrian. I'm Adrian Kolf, the co-founder and CEO of Matchr. And I very actively write about my entrepreneurial journey and about life in general on LinkedIn. But actually, the people that inspired me to do so were the people behind Lemlist, because I saw that they had amazing posts, a lot of traction. And then I stumbled upon their ebook, The Power of LinkedIn. And it's an ebook packed with gems, 120-page ebook, with all these examples of how they've leveraged their personal brand and how they've leveraged LinkedIn in order to grow from 0 to 10 million ARR in annual recurring revenue in just 3 years, completely bootstrapped, all done by growth marketing and using LinkedIn in a very, very smart way. And it's actually funny, sometimes you need people that are not part of your industry, aka recruiters, to actually show you how things can be done and how things can be done a little bit different. So when I was thinking about this webinar series, I was like, I would love for Nadja to speak at our series to share her knowledge of how they leverage LinkedIn. To give you a little bit of idea behind her experience, so Nadja has over 6 years of experience in sales and in marketing. For the last 2 years have been the head of business development at Lemlist, a company that's completely remote, grew from 10 to 41 employees in 8 months. They refused a $30 million investment offer. Actually, the CEO did a TED talk on that, and they've grown from 0 to 10 million in annual recurring revenue in just over 3 years, completely bootstrapped. I mean, all of these feats are absolutely amazing, and therefore so happy, Nadja, that you're here on the call with us. We with Matchr, we actually use Lemlist, and I can only say good things about you guys, but that's not what we're here for. Nadja, welcome.
Thank you. I don't know what to add on top of everything that you said. We can just now finish off the webinar at this moment right here. Thank you so much for having me. It's really a pleasure. And as you said, like I come from sales, so completely different angle here that we're going to talk about on how to use properly LinkedIn, actually in recruiting, how to build the brand, etc. But although you might think, like sales and recruiting are kind of different jobs and different verticals, for me, it's more or less the same. So I think that you guys, like anybody in recruiting, has a harder job than salespeople do. And I know this is not something that salespeople will say a lot, but I'm the one that can actually kind of guarantee that, because I'm also doing recruiting for my team in our sales team. So I really believe that a lot of sales techniques and everything that we're doing today is really used in recruiting as well. And we have a lot of things that are common. So happy to explore and actually see what of my knowledge can be shared and implemented for everybody here.
Awesome. All right, before we start with not just keynotes, guys, any questions, just type them in the chat. If they're very urgent, I'll just brutally interrupt Nadja and ask questions right away. If not, we'll save them up for the end. Try to be interactive. Share your LinkedIn contacts in the chat if you want to connect with other people. I had a sneak peek of Nadja's presentation. It's long and it's packed with a lot of good stuff. So Nadja, let's get to it. Let's start sharing your screen, and I'll zoom out.
Definitely. So let me just start here by sharing my screen. I'm going to go directly to our presentation. Yep. So just let me know, Adrian, if everybody can see it before I get started.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. So to everybody right now who's listening to this, my goal for today, basically, before we go into really packed and actionable advice, is how you can right now build your brands, use properly the outreach techniques to actually hunt for the new talent. I want to make sure that this webinar today is going to be very interactive, and I want to make sure that I'm actually addressing your pain points, your questions. So really put all of the questions in the chat. I'm happy to sway away from my presentation here and answer your questions that you might be having. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go strictly into the slides and just focus on the slides, have this long monologue for an hour, but we'll actually at one point stop sharing the screen, we'll go directly to LinkedIn, and I'm going to show you some of the examples how you can build properly your LinkedIn posts to actually boost a bit of attraction for your company, your brand, and actually attract talent. So I'm going to make this very casual, very as we go, like to learn more about whatever it is that we want to learn today. So feel free to engage, feel free to drop your questions, and let's get started right now. So before we go into like very actionable tips, I want you to all to kind of stop for a second and just think about one question. So imagine right now you are hiring for SDRs maybe in your company, so salespeople. That is what is currently I'm doing currently for my team. And now think about how many companies that you're currently working for actually exist in your country. So similar companies to yours. Now multiply that by the number of recruiters that exist in those companies and think about worldwide picture. So where we end up being is that millions of recruiters are after the same people that you are currently looking to hire. And on top of that, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm sure all of you know, not the one that is credible to talk about this topic, but we know that what happened after the last 2 years of COVID hitting and this great resignation phenomenon happening, 71% and more workforce is either thinking of quitting or is currently looking for new jobs. So right now we have a huge demand for talent, not a lot of talented people. So we need to make sure that we're actually going after the proper talent, that we are the ones hiring them. So we need to make sure that we are also standing out in our outreach techniques, that we are the ones who are having this advantage of gathering the best talent and not losing it to the competition. So let's see today how you can actually ensure that your outreach methods are going to actually stand out. So not only how you're going to be able to attract new talent by building your own personal brands, but also how you can properly create your messaging. Again, I come from sales, so my job day to day is really to create powerful messaging and to make the messages that will actually get people to reply. So this part of the talk, I think, is going to be very useful for anybody who is not focused so much on the messaging itself, when in fact, this is the part that is critical when you actually want to get a response or even get interest from a potential talent pool. Now, what we will see today is basically why research and personalization is going to be the key in attracting best talent. What I mean by that is actually how you will be able to structure your message that you will send out to your candidates to ensure that you're properly communicating your company values, what it is that you offer, and actually get enough interest for them to even respond and actually be interested in potentially joining your company. Again, how you will be able to use a bit of a unique outreach methods to boost your talent acquisition. And here we're going to talk about how you can use videos in your outreach. I know Adrian here has been using a lot of Lemlist video personalization features for this. How you can go multi-channel, so use both email and LinkedIn in a very automated and easy workflows. And the most important part that I want to focus on today is how you can build your LinkedIn brands and use it to attract best talent. So what do we want to achieve today? Hire best talent, build your company brand, and create loyalty around it, and really create efficient workflows and processes around it. Now, the first topic that I really want to focus on today is the power of your personal brand and your LinkedIn brand. As Adrian mentioned in the beginning, the way that the two of us even got connected and the way that he became a client eventually was solely through the LinkedIn. So a couple of years back, actually 2 years ago, to be precise, I had 400 connections on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn brand didn't exist. I was just connected to people that were, from my university, my college, my work friends, etc. And at that moment, I joined Lemlist, and I joined as the head of sales. So obviously, as I joined as a head of sales, my first thinking was, okay, I need to create sales process, hire the team, start selling right away. But one of the things that my CEO actually told me at that point was that one of my KPIs is going to be building my own personal brand on LinkedIn. So I was quite shocked, to be frank. And I was kind of wondering, how the hell am I going to do that? I never built my LinkedIn brand. I have 400 connections. What it is that I can even talk about on LinkedIn? Who would care to listen to me? So to 2 years forward, right now my connections on LinkedIn are above 20K. I'm connected to all of the best known sales thought leaders. I'm being invited to podcasts by one of the best thought leaders in sales today. So I really built this playground for me. And currently I'm in a position where I personally don't even need to sell. So I don't need to go hunting for leads. In my case, for you, it might be talent. I'm in a position where those are coming, they're coming to me, they're interested to see my profile. And this is what we want to make sure that you're doing today as well. I bet that a lot of you know Adrian also from LinkedIn. So this is where you want to be in your own business. Now, why you should actually want to build your brand. And I know this is something that a lot of people know that they should be doing, but nobody really does it. The one first reason is you are able to develop your network. Benefits of the network are not solely you being connected to a lot of people and knowing them and being able to communicate with them. The benefits that it will get you is, first of all, you will always be able to ask for introductions and for referrals for other talents. If somebody has any idea if somebody would be a good fit for the position that you're looking for, you're able also to always attract a talent because you're going to be seen as credible on LinkedIn. And they're going to be actually interested in talking to you, what it is that you do. And they're going to just simply want to talk to you in the first place. And you're going to be able to position yourself as an expert, meaning that you're going to be seen as credible. So not only that when you're reaching out to talent, they will see this person who knows what they're doing, is taking effort to actually communicate with them, but for the future, obviously, we're always going to be changing our jobs as well. You will be seen as an expert, and it's going to be super easy for you to always find that perfect job for you in the future. Now, the last but not least is the potential of having your LinkedIn network is that you can always seek for advice. Everything that you're currently struggling with or going through, somebody has went through that in the past, and you're right now in a position where you can really talk to other thought leaders and get some learnings from them. Now, okay, you might be right now in a position that, having in mind that you're already watching this webinar, that shows me that you're interested in this in the first place. But the question that you might have here is, why does me creating content actually makes any difference? And what kind of content I should be creating? I really might not have nothing to share spectacularly. Why would anybody listen to me? So if you're asking these questions today, let me tell you that nobody who started on LinkedIn had answers to these questions. Everybody starts and we figure it out. So if you're in right now in a position of like, should I start or should I not start? Don't over plan it. Don't think about it for days, weeks, and over strategize it. Create long plans. Simply start today, step by step, post by post. You will figure out as you go what actually works and what doesn't, and you will not be able to guess it on the first go. So let's talk about why content actually even matter. First of all, because it will help you really present your company culture. And what I'm going to do here, I've actually put a couple of screenshots, but I'm going to actually go directly to LinkedIn and show you these because I think it's going to be more beneficial for us. So give me a second and let's first take a look. Adrian, just let me know if this is visible enough for everybody.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Okay, so guys, take a bit of a time to just kind of read. This was actually a post when I was hiring. So take a bit of a time to read this and this post. I'm going to maybe zoom it out a bit so that you can read it. And I'm going to explain what was the point of this post afterwards. Okay, let me know just when you're done.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, so we have this post, and this post actually got crazy engagement because in this moment of time, everybody was talking about, being remote. Every company is right now talking about like hiring remotely, etc. But what actually happens, and I'm sure you all know it, is that people will say that they're hiring remotely. However, the company culture wouldn't really reflect that. So my point of this post here was to actually portrayed the culture in Lemlist actually is in my company currently, it works in a way that literally anybody can really work from anywhere. And for me to prove that point, I've actually did it publicly on LinkedIn without even asking my CEO beforehand. The reason that I'm mentioning this post out of every single other is after I posted this post, even though, as you can see, I'm not talking about the fact that I'm hiring, I'm not talking about the fact that we have open positions. This is a simple post that is just addressing one part of our company culture. What happened afterwards is that in the comments here, I got a lot of people asking actually if we are hiring. And in my DMs, we actually got on, if I can remember properly, 25 people reaching out, qualified people, to actually see if there is position in the sales team. The point that I'm trying to make here is that if we go back to the screenshots here, I'm going to go back to our slide. Oops. Okay. Let it run. Come on. Okay. So as I said, it will basically help you present your company culture. And the second of all, people will always believe more what they will see on social media than what they will believe if they saw it on job ads. This is a very important psychological thing that is important for you to realize, because when you think about job ads, obviously everybody's going to talk nice things in their job ads. However, on social media, people think to kind of have just more trust in what is being said here. You're able then to show off your company culture, show the value you have as a company. And then in the comments, my CEO actually made this comment where he actually showcased what kind of leadership people who would be joining the company will be able to expect. So communicating with your team members and providing this and showing this culture and these vibes that you have within the team is really useful when you actually want to portray your company culture. Now, obviously, this will expose you to the relevant audience. Obviously, I've made a hashtag that said remote. So a lot of people, we are right now hiring remotely. A lot of people actually who were looking for the jobs in remote positions came to us. Again, this was literally my LinkedIn inbox after a couple of hours after posting this post. Out of them, as I said, 25 actually came directly to me asking for a potential job in Lemlist. And it actually provided me with more networking chances. So even the ones that weren't a fit for me as a talent, I was able to connect with them and ask if they would be able to recommend somebody within their company or their network. Now, the second post that I would like to show you, and then we will go basically into why this post worked. Give me a second to see which one that one is. Okay, I actually made this post yesterday. So this one is a bit longer, so I don't know how I'm going to show it to you, but let's just go step by step.
Awesome.
Okay, so if this was too fast, we will just go through this one by one. But what I'm trying to explain here, first, I want to kind of right now dissect this post because this is also the framework that we've used to build LinkedIn posts. It doesn't always have to be a hiring post in the first place, but it's a framework of how the posts should be created and how they should be structured. So first things first here is the intro line of the post itself. So if you're right now thinking about creating content on LinkedIn, the most important part is the first sentence of your LinkedIn post. If you're on LinkedIn, you're probably scrolling as well your LinkedIn feed. Just think about how much time you spent on actually checking out the LinkedIn post that you see on your feed. So it takes about 2 seconds for people to move on from your post. Your first task is to catch their attention with this first email. Again, my target audience here was definitely VP of sales. So right now we're hiring in sales, and I wanted to make sure that I'm catching their attention, and I don't care about anybody else on LinkedIn. So want to be a VP of sales in the fast growing startup? Are you sure about that? Again, you're kind of creating this interest and you're creating curiosity for them to be able to read more. This post, when I've posted it, just was literally stopped at this point. So I just had these 2 lines and I had see more. Your idea here is to actually get them to click on see more. What I'm doing then is I'm actually being able to connect with them on a deeper level because I'm actually showing that I know the pains that they're going through. So I'm highlighting all of the essential things that all of us know and face in sales, something that is not often talked about, but it's kind of an elephant in the room. So I'm kind of walking through all of this. I'm listing all of the things that I know they will be able to relate to. It's kind of a storyline that is going on here. Again, people are really hooked on storytelling, not really on pitching or any type of you just offering them information. So the flow goes as a storyline here. And what happens at the end is that I'm actually able by this moment here to actually prove them that I'm on the same level as they are, that I know what they're going through. And on top of this, I'm actually already highlighting the, let's say, downsides of working at Lemlist. I'm putting out there publicly all of the things that might be not fit for somebody who is not really looking for this type of culture. And this is what I want to do because I don't want to attract everybody. I want to attract people who actually see this and are thriving on this. So they're not scared or they want to run away from this. They're actually looking for this type of adrenaline. Now, if they're already not scared by this point, what I'm doing now is that I want to make sure that now I transition into the point of my post. So if you still think this is a job for you, that's awesome, because you will then I list the benefits of working for Lemlist. You will be able to this and this and this, get the more learning from a single position, etc. And now I go into the culture. But never forget to appreciate yourself while you're on this journey, and join only companies that will appreciate all that you do too. Because if you can do all of the above, you're a rare breed and you're doing an amazing job. Again, the moment that we face in sales, you might not be able to relate to this post so much. We are really busting our asses off every single day, and we're working a lot. For us to be able to do this, we need to feel this appreciation and not just feel like a single minion working in a company who just wants to get paid and go home, because we're not in this for money. If we are, obviously we would be doing something else, because this is too stressful to just do for the money. So appreciation is a big key element in any sales job and culture as well. So this is what I'm mentioning at the end of my post. Again, people will be able to tell that I get it, and that if they were to join me, they know that I would be a type of manager that they would be able to actually connect, and that they will understand them. On top of this, at the end of the post, I'm making sure that I have call to action and that I'm getting them to do something, which is, in this case, you should apply to Lemlist. We're hiring in sales, and I'll appreciate the hell out of you. As a bonus point, in the comments, I'm actually adding a bit information on the hiring part as well. So if I'm basically saying, if you find this exciting and not scary and are ready to join me on the crazy journey, we went from 0 to 10 million in less than 4 years. So if you want to join me, apply here. Again, notice what I'm doing here. So I'm actually mentioning why they might be interested in the first place. I'm showing some credibility and why they should be interested in this company in the first place. And again, what would be our objectives? So the crazy goals that we have and where they would be able to apply. The point that this post made, again, I'm going to go back to these slides. Just give me a second. I'm switching a lot, but just bear with me. Okay. So what happened here is that this post actually got crazy engagement, and a lot of the recruiters afterwards kind of reached out back to me looking for kind of advice how to frame their own LinkedIn posts. So what we're going to do here is we're going to talk about first why a lot of people fail when they're doing LinkedIn posts and creating their LinkedIn profiles, and then how to do it properly. So basically, the reason that a lot of people fail is, as I said, really a lot of people don't think that they have nothing to share on LinkedIn, so they are hesitant to even start. No idea how the LinkedIn algorithm works. This is what we're going to discuss afterwards as well. Again, lack of content ideas, irrelevant content for their audience. They're not being consistent. The posts are very self-centered, and I need to focus on this. So that what I mean by self-centered, I mean any company that is saying, we've just won this award, we are hiring, we are doing this, we're amazing, we're growing. And yes, you are amazing. But again, nobody wants to hear that. What they want to hear is what they can learn from your post, what they can get from your post, and to move on from your post by having something valuable out of that, and not just waste of 3 or however minutes they've spent on reading that post. Obviously, a lot of posts are not really properly written. They are not using any proper framework. And my favorite one, they lack authenticity and personalization. As you saw probably in both of my posts, my communication style is very visible. So I'm very casual. I'm using a lot of my personal way that I'm talking even with you all today. And the moment where you're able to portray your personality into your LinkedIn posts is where the actually magic starts to happen. So if you know Adrian, you know that what he's writing on LinkedIn is exactly showing off his personality. If you know me, my LinkedIn is even a bit crazier than I am typically in my real life. But again, it just shows your own personality, and people really relate to people. They don't relate to brands or companies. So the culture and your personal character that you're able to put out on LinkedIn is what's going to get them in the first place. Now, again, the ultimate goal on LinkedIn is not for you to, just hire people, send them messages, get them in a talent pool, move on. Your goal is to build relationships. A lot of times, what will happen is that people that you've connected previously with are going to reach out back to you because you build a relationship with them, and they're going to be asking if there is still job open in the company that you're hiring for. Once you build your network, you're able to always use that network in any job role that you change or go to. And how you can actually do this? First of all, by engaging with other people's posts. So if you're still hesitant about building your LinkedIn brand in terms of posting, that's fine. Let's take baby steps. First things first, you can start today is go ahead on LinkedIn and start commenting and engaging with other people's posts. Best way to do this is to actually engage with thought leaders in your industry. Simply because once you do this, anybody who engage with their posts are going to be able to see your comments, and you might be able to catch some of the attention. Again, when you're engaging, you need to make sure that you're delivering very actionable and useful advices, and not, just like great post, cool, awesome, great read. Nobody really is going to get anything out of that. You need to showcase that you're actually being credible, that you know what you're doing, that you know what it is that you can actually offer a valuable advice. Again, leaving these relevant comments will help you gain visibility. And if the comment was catchy enough and interesting enough, people will come and connect with you in the first place. If you're going to a next step, which is again sharing valuable content and resources, you're always going to have to focus on helping people. Your goal of the LinkedIn post is not for you to get something immediately out of that. Your goal is to help them understand something, learn something, be motivated maybe by your post, and your end goal is to help people out, because when you're really focused on people and you're really being customer centric, that's when the magic starts to happen. Now, when it comes to the kind of technical stuff, when it comes to LinkedIn, this is what will definitely kill your reach on LinkedIn. So if you're right now, let's say maybe you want to share that your company recently raised funds, that's perfect, and you definitely should share that link. However, don't share it by simply sharing the link on LinkedIn. What I mean by that is that, let's say on TechCrunch, you have, share button, and then it will literally lead you to paste the link onto your LinkedIn post. Best way to do it is to simply create a post that is text only, and then tell at the end of the post, if you want to check it out, check the link in the comments. LinkedIn works in a very strange way. A lot of technical and weird stuff is going on there. This is some algorithm that they have so that it will kill your reach if you just reshare your link. Again, if you post, make sure you're not going back and editing the post, if obviously you made a terrible mistake you want to tweak it, because again, this is also what kills the reach. One thing that you might have not known is that if somebody posts on LinkedIn and you share that post is likely not going to get any traction, because LinkedIn will just push it down the feed and nobody will be even seeing it. If you're tagging too many people in your post, that's also a bad signal for LinkedIn, and they will not want to promote you or push you to the top of the feed as well. Posting long videos. Videos are amazing way to catch attention on LinkedIn, especially in recruiting. I think motivational videos or talking about, mental health or company culture are a great way for you to get some more traction in your industry. However, don't make them too long. Keep it under 1 minute. 30 seconds is the best optimal time. Make sure that you're being quick, snappy, and think about as an Instagram story type of format, and you will be fine. Again, using too many irrelevant hashtags is going to completely ruin your reach. And again, not being consistent. Let's focus on the last point. I know that when you want to build your brand, everything else is more important. So if you're not able to commit to actually post every single, let's say every second day, every third day, etc., put a little reminder on your calendar every Wednesday morning, for example, to make a post. Create your agenda, potentially have a couple of posts lined up in advance so that you can just have them on your calendar. You click, you share, and that's it. This is the best way to be consistent. Otherwise, if you just rely on your faith that you will do it, I can tell you from my experience, that's never going to happen. So how do we actually come up with content ideas? First, after this webinar or tomorrow while you're thinking about it, make a list of topics that you would like to address. So maybe it might be, okay, I want to actually portray my company's culture. Once you do that, you will go and break it down. What are the best ways that I can actually deliver some interesting information or topics or content that my audience would be interested in learning in different unique ways, but still portray my company culture? Again, going back to the Thailand post, it was completely not even talking about the company culture in the first place as a point of the email. But again, it was a very unique angle of it in the first place. The second one was actually portraying pains that we as a VP of sales are always facing. So even for those that are not even looking for a job role, they still found that post valuable and relatable. Second of all, ask yourself what you actually know your audience wants to hear today. So you might be doing something today. Let's say you're a recruiter right now and you want to potentially build your network with other recruiters. What I would advise is to literally take a step by step and think about your day. What it is, the experience that you're getting from everything that you're doing daily, every small thing that you're learning, somebody else might have not learned in the past. And don't ever think that something that you're going to share is irrelevant, because somebody is always going to find some value in it. Unfortunately, none of us are really that unique, so that we're doing some amazing stuff and that we're only the ones going through a very similar pain. So help others out, share your experiences, document your journey. Adrian here is documenting his entire entrepreneurial journey. A lot of people are learning from him. A lot of you probably came to this webinar because you saw some of his posts. So just find the angle that works for you and try it out. Again, find a topic that should align with your niche. And this is the most important part. Before you even go ahead and start writing, you need to think about who it is that you want to build the network with and who do you want to read your posts. So for me, in my position, obviously, I'm a head of sales, and my target audience, so who we are trying to close, is salespeople. That's why my entire LinkedIn is filled with salespeople in different positions, but it's always sales. Some recruiters, obviously, but mostly sales. This means that my communication style and my posts, my content that I'm sharing is solely focused on sales people in the first place, their pains, what is going to be helpful to them, and it's only about sales. I don't talk about anything else. A lot of people that followed me in the past from my university or my friends, my close friends, probably don't follow me anymore because it's so laser focused on sales. But the ones that are here on my LinkedIn, they know what they're going to get when they see my posts. Again, for you, it might be that you want to connect with other recruiters. Maybe it's maybe your, let's say your industry is you're working in a company that is, let's say you're in a mobility industry. Right now, you would like to connect, obviously, with people that are working in the mobility, that are able to, that you're going to be able to hire afterwards, and that you want to connect with. So one couple of topics that you can always explore is to share the benefits of working with you and your company. Again, not by lining them up and saying, hey, my company is hiring, this is what we can offer you. Find the cool angle, find a way to tell the story and not really pitch it straight ahead. Talk about your company culture by addressing common pains that a lot of companies are facing. So right now you have so many topics you can explore, from mental health to burnout, to companies that are working in hybrid positions, how to hire remotely, how to hire in the office when COVID is happening. Talk about these broader subjects and pains that you know that people are facing, and then lead the story into talking about what you do and how you do it, and then ask a question. Again, reasons they shouldn't work with you are my favorites, because then you're able to separate all of the people that are not going to be a fit for you either way. And obviously, as I said, hot topics your audience is interested in. Now, just look at this post here and tell me if you're going to be rather reading this post. So people are tired of working from home. They're tired of being locked down. I've been working, blah, blah, blah. Or this one. So even if I saw this post, I wouldn't read it. Right now, I'm not really feeling the moment to read this post in the first place. Again, very, very not properly written, very straight to the point. This one looks so clean, so simple. It's catchy. People aren't tired of working from home. They're tired of being locked down. Like, what do you mean? I want to explore more. I want to learn more. So let's see what is the actual framework of how we build these posts. First of all, pick a good topic. Even if you want to say I'm hiring, don't say I'm hiring. Say pick a topic that is broad, that will catch the attention, and then at the end mention the fact that you're hiring. It can be a lot of different things that you want to explore, a lot of different angles. It's just about being creative and like just playing with the copy. As I said, this was my topic. So if you want to be a VP of sales in fast-growing startup, are you really sure about that? And then address the topic that I know that a lot of people are asking themselves every single day in sales. Your goal here is to hook the readers with a catchy intro that makes them click on see more. Going from there, as I said, picking a relevant topic for you will be actually making people connect with you more easily. And then we're finding the common ground. I'm finding something that is actually relatable, where people will be able to say, oh my God, yes, I so relate to this. I'm so hooked on this. I can completely vision myself going through the same pains or problems. When it comes to the format, I know this is something that is very simple, but it makes the world of difference. Please, please, please add spaces between your sentences. If you look at this, it's super easily read. It doesn't take me like a long time to focus my eyes, like bring my phone back to my face and like try to read it slowly. Make it so easily so readable and so simply written that it's really catchy and it catches the attention. Again, start in the next step to give more context and bring people into your story. Deposit something that is a learning and find the general pain. At the end of the post, you need to have an ask or a takeaway. So let me kind of summarize the most important parts when it comes to the format. Again, we have the intro line, which is the most important part of whether your LinkedIn post is ever going to be seen. Then we want to make sure that we're posting about something where people can connect, where people can relate, and where people are going to be able to get some value out of what you're saying. Whether it's simply by feeling better about themselves afterwards, knowing that they're not alone in whatever they're going through, or getting actual insights and advices how to conduct something. How, for example, I'm sharing sales tips. You might be sharing your recruiter tips, templates that you're sending out to the talents, etc. All of these things, the point of the post is for people to walk away from it feeling that they've read or learned something that was useful and that made them stop and think. And the most important part is really, really, really having an ask at the end or a point. So if you're posting just for the sake of posting, you actually want to make sure that you're getting something out of it. So either you will be sending a link in the comments so they can read it, check it out, or you're going to be saying, like, if you want to talk about this more, feel free to DM me. Try to find something that will actually be able to be your call to action. Comment segment is a very nice way where you can actually deliver more value if people are already interested, as we said. And let's see how this post actually worked. So although this wasn't really a post for me to hire a lot of people, that wasn't the angle. This was the actual comments that I've had on this post a day ago. So as you can see here, what they've said in this case is that it was a job description, requirement skills, stay away traits, and a day-to-day working benefits in a single capsule. That's what you want to portray. And basically going from here, what also happened is that a lot of people actually tagged others in the comments mentioning that they will be able to actually potentially get hired in this company. And this person actually reached out to me. And I've gotten a couple of emails, a couple of messages on LinkedIn saying that they're actually right now looking for a position in Lemlist. These are the couple of secret intros that you can actually use to get people to click on see more on LinkedIn. So asking questions such as, did you know what? Are you wondering how to? I'll tell you a story. Imagine you are doing this and this. Do you need ideas? All of these things are something where you need to think about how to actually play with people's psychology. So asking this type of question will get them to, I'm actually interested to see more, and this is your goal. This is what we call our framework. So first point is to catch readers' attention, then build the interest, spark desire, and make people act. Again, copywriting is all about the reader. It's not about you, what you do, what your company does, and what do you need from them. It's about what's in it for them. Keeping it short and clear. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't use fancy words, fancy terms. It will just get your reader's mind to make more effort to read it. No fluff and straight to the point. Motivational posts, as I said, are an amazing type of post that you can right now use for your audience. And it's something that a lot of us really consume a lot on LinkedIn. And as I said, videos are going to work perfectly. If you're not comfortable, you don't really have to follow it through. But again, try it out. It works really well. And the secret ingredient is always storytelling and being really vulnerable, authentic, and sharing your own story and your own opinions. As you can see, this was my CEO here. So like he started saying, like, I stopped visiting my parents. I've stopped seeing my friends. As you can see, it's very catchy. I didn't have any money in the early days of Lemlist. So he's sharing a very personal story. Now, the results that we've got from LinkedIn after a couple of posts this week was like, this is literally the number of leads that we have gotten from our LinkedIn. So we can use it for sales. In your case, it might have been obviously for recruiting purposes. So we're going to take a pause here when it comes to LinkedIn, and we're going to go into the actual outreach methods that I'm using in sales, and you can implement right now in the in your recruiting purposes. I'm just going to kill my LinkedIn slide so that it doesn't confuse us. And I would like to ask just Adrian if we have any questions that we might want to answer now before we go into the outreach techniques.
No, I because I'm conscious about time. We have 30 minutes left, so let's get into it. We do have a couple of questions, but I think we can save them up for later.
Perfect. So I'm just gonna basically do one outreach here. I'm actually gonna show you. So just whoever right now, well, as you're watching, prepare your questions so we can go straight to it afterwards, and we can make sure that we're answering them. I'm going to show you a couple simple sequence that I've built for you today, how you can actually reach out to a lead, because I'm getting pitched constantly with LinkedIn offers, and I want to make sure that you're not making the same mistakes. So we're actually going to use myself as an example of a person you would want to hire. So obviously I know everything about myself, so I'm just going to use personalization, knowing already what I'm doing. So as you can see here, I've joined Lemlist, and we've managed to grow from $0 to $10 million in 3.5 years, bootstrapped. Now let's imagine another bootstrap company wants to hire me as a new VP of sales. How I would actually approach this lead is I would I'm going to show you my sales process, but it can work for you guys also. So I'm going to pick our campaign. This is my sequence where we have LinkedIn steps, email steps, etc. I'm going to find the email address and everything using the extension. And what I want to do here is I want to add a bit of a personal touch. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say, hey, Nadja, I saw you managed to, so basically I will not right now spend time on this, but I will say I saw you've managed to grow Lemlist, blah, blah. So basically what I would say here is I would say like, hey, saw that you managed to grow Lemlist from 0 to 10 million in less than 4 years. Quite impressed with your working history, where you worked in the past, and all of the content that you've been producing. For that reason, I actually thought I'd reach out. I'm going to add this person into our campaign. Actually, okay, I'm already unsubscribed, so I will not be able to do that. But let me show you how that will look like. So basically, this personalization that I put will actually be changed here. And the way that I would approach myself is I would obviously send a connection request on LinkedIn. Then I would send an email. And this personalized line is what I want all of you to kind of get out of this webinar, is that you should definitely personalize your outreach messages to talent. So what I would say is, hey, Nadja, I saw that you've been, that you've grown Lemlist to 10 million in ARR, blah, blah. This in mind, I thought video might be more telling than a long email. And then here we have like a nice video thumbnail that is going to be personalized. And in the video itself, I would present why they would be interested in this company, what they would get from this offer, and why I thought this person might be interested in this in the first place. The mistake that I see happening all across the board when it comes to recruiters when they're trying to hire me is that they would send me an offer and tell me, hey, Nadja, I'm a recruiter at X company. Right now we're hiring for a sales position. Here's the offer. Let me know if you would be open to talk about it. In any point, it does not tell me why they even thought I would be a good fit, or why I would be interested in this company, or why this would be relevant to me. And it doesn't give me any good vibes about what the company is that I would be joining. So the idea here is to really make sure that your outreach is personalized and making you feel that you're reaching out to this person because there is a need that they will be able to fill in. Again, this is a couple of a very simple sequence that I've built. So you will see, hey, first name, again, personalization, the research that you've done on them, again, what's in it for them. So for example, it will be, we've just managed to grow our business to 20 million. Right now, I know you're committed to your company, but I can see that you're very focused on your personal branding. This is where we can kick it off a bit more, etc. Then you send the offer and you ask a question that is open-ended. So like, this might not be a proper time for you to think of a career change, but why not have a chat and see if it would be a fit? Doesn't hurt to have your open options out in the open, right? Let me know what time would be good for you, Nadja. So very simple campaign, and I've rushed it through it right now very quickly because we are short on time, and I want to make sure you have your own questions. So I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. We're gonna go back. Okay, can you all hear me, see me?
Yes.
Cool. I want to make sure that we have time to talk and not me do a monologue. I thought more than I wanted.
No. It was so good. It's so good. And I honestly, I think we can talk 4 hours. First of all, Nadja, it was such an again inspiration. We were like with the company on the chat, like, oh, this is what we can do. This is what we can do. This is the chats that we can have. So absolutely fantastic. And I think for the people that are not familiar with Lemlist, you just open up Pandora's box, right? Like people are going to be like, wait, what is this? What's happening? What's happening to that extent? All right. So couple questions that came up. What do you think of polls on LinkedIn?
Perfect question. I love polls when they're properly built. Polls are the best right now. LinkedIn algorithm right now loves polls. That's the only thing that they will push on the top. But they're so overused. So if you're really thinking about creating polls, really create a very catchy, interesting, thought-provoking question that will actually deliver value when people respond to it. Don't just create any types of polls. They'll just ruin your credibility.
Okay. Immediately question from Tim. What do we need to do? We want to learn more about Lemlist and how the tool works.
Come to me on LinkedIn. Honestly, I'm happy to talk to you directly or to or put you in contact with somebody from my team, or go to the website. You have a free trial for 14 days. You can check it out by yourself. Happy to help, so feel free to for sure.
Perfect. In terms of a question from Dima, what topics worked well for you in the last quarter that you shared on LinkedIn?
Well, I'm targeting salespeople, so the topics that worked for me are definitely any sales type of content, so like any actionable advices, tips how to do properly outbound, etc. But also posts about mental health, because this is a topic that I think everybody right now is so focused on. I personally love it as well. That's why I'm sharing, and sales leadership. So I'm really talking about the things that I work day to day, and then also I know that my audience is also looking to read and see.
Yeah, cool. And Nadja, one thing that I noticed is what I would be interested. So I saw the spreadsheet. You very quickly, because we're running out of time, right? The results. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So basically, what happened is that, and we call this lead magnet posts. Lead magnet posts are posts where you create a post and basically you want to give them some value. So it might be like a case study or a ebook or something like that. And then you tell them, okay, if you want to get your hands on this, comment below. Basically, for us, a bunch of people commented because we were sharing our cold emailing hub and our LinkedIn ebook. So when they commented, we basically scraped automatically all of these leads. We used Phantom Buster. I don't know if anybody needs this, but I'm going to put it here in check. So Phantom Okay, not sure if I even spelled it well, but you will find it online. It's a cool scraping tool. So you will be able to scrape all of the leads from LinkedIn. And then we got like all of the people in the company shared it. We just gathered them together and we got a bunch of people who are actually looking to get their hands on the content.
And then do you go through the profiles one by one?
So what we do is we actually segment. So we get like their titles. So if they're, for example, VP of sales, we put them in one batch. If they're recruiters, in a second batch, etc. And then based on that, we put them in different campaigns and then we personalize. So we will say like, okay, if you're right now as a recruiter want to build your LinkedIn brand on LinkedIn, this is the ebook, etc. And then for salespeople, it's a different angle and you just personalize it at scale.
Yeah. Amazing. I love it. I love to see it. Wait, and there was another question that just popped up. Does Lemlist complement on LinkedIn recruiters messaging platform?
No, we do not support LinkedIn Recruiter. We support LinkedIn Sales Navigator and regular LinkedIn, but LinkedIn Recruiter not. No. Unfortunately.
And does it mean that you do the connection requests or the in-mails as well? Is that also
So
part of your
basically,
workflow?
you'll be able to combine email, so email, normal email, automated connection requests, and you can also personalize them. LinkedIn messages that you can also personalize. Then again, emails that follow up. So you can really combine the steps,
Yeah,
and everything is like automated. Whenever somebody responds, the follow-ups are being stopped. So I hope that
yeah,
answers the question.
yeah, yeah. Amazing. Um, what content works best on on a LinkedIn company page? If you want to track more, job seekers, and in this case, global blockchain talent. That's going to be tricky.
Great question. And the answer that I would say is that no content on company LinkedIn page is ever going to perform as well as the CEOs or anybody else in the company, because people just don't connect to companies, they connect to other people.
Yeah,
For us, we have our company page, which I'm not even following that much, but everybody's following me and Guillaume and everybody else.
yeah,
On the company side, just make it casual, make it fun, make it okay. Obviously depends on your industry. If you're a super formal company and like a bit more advanced, obviously you will not use that language, but again, it's just what works for you. I think company success stories are good things to share. Like, this is where you can be a bit more boring, I would say.
yeah, yeah. Um, question from Anna. Anna says, "Hey, I kind of like have two audiences. She works as a sourcer. On the one hand, she has developers that she wants to find, and she sources for a lot of developers. On the other hand, she also wants to build out her expertise around sourcing and kind of like recruitment. So, yeah, how to deal with that?
So when you have basically two topics and two audiences.
Yeah, yeah. So what like how what's your thought process there?
The way that I would do it is I would literally split my week. Let's say you post 4 times a week, post 2 times on this topic, 2 times on this topic. You're always gonna potentially lose some people that are not really interested in what you're saying, but honestly, like, it takes time also to remove a connection, and people are just lazy to do it.
Yeah.
So you will be catching the attention from one side, and on the other side, the other people, and more or less it's gonna be fine.
Okay.
A bit tricky, but you can do it.
Hey, and last but not least, do you accept every LinkedIn connection request?
Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, in the beginning, I did because I wanted to grow like fast. But right now, I've stopped accepting really like the people that are not really in my industry, my audience. Like, they're not my type of people, like in terms of the work.
Yeah,
So in that case, I don't. So I'm a bit picky now because I do want to connect with people. But if it's the same industry, I always accept, like,
yeah,
or recruiters or marketing people. I always connect with them. But if it's like, I don't know, motorcycles or something that is completely out of my field, in that case, not really.
yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Nadja, on the clock. Thank you so much. Like, honestly, we are very very inspired. It was even more than I hoped and than I expected. Even though I know your content quite well. Thank you so much for joining us. Really really appreciated your time. I know how busy you guys are. If anything, I shared your LinkedIn in the chat, so people please connect with Nadja if you have any question around Lemlist. If you ever want to bounce back ideas with her. I've known Nadja now for the course of the last 2 years, basically, and she's always been very open to share any of our learnings to that extent. So Nadja, once again, thank you so much. Good luck on growing Lemlist and growing your team as well.
Thank
Next week, we have also a very, very special speaker. We have Job van der Voort, the CEO and founder of remote.com, talking about hypergrowth. He grew from 0 to 400 in 1 year time. And he's going to share his learnings on what it meant for him building a remote first company and being absolutely the number one company in the remote workspace these days. Nadja, once again, thanks for your time. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone again next week with Job. Bye bye.
Likewise. Thank you.